Welcome back to another episode of AQ and Beyond. Yes, it's been a long time, but we are back in action, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your patience with us. As always, for your host, it is your boy Steven here bringing you the good stuff. Today on the podcast, I'm joined here by Lilly. So, Lilly, welcome to the podcast.
It's amazing to be here. I'm very excited about this.
Hey, we're excited to talk to you and get a little lay down about your life. So, kind of give us a brief idea of, what you major in and what that entitles.
My major is biotechnology. I just finalized my concentration to be medical biotechnology. So that's exciting. That just happened, I want to say 3 weeks ago, right around course registration.
Okay.
Not a very good time to finalize that because the offices are always stressed out during that time. But it's finalized. We're all set. Usually, whenever I'm explaining my major to people, they're like, "Oh, so you're smart." And I'm like, I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that I'm smart. And they pretty much ask me what it's about. I do my normal explaining, like, okay, well, my future goal, I want to be a molecular geneticist. And they're like, can you speak English, please? So I say, I am doing biology on steroids.
I mean, that's one way of explaining it in like short, sweet, to the point. Um,
Yep.
I
Pretty
mean,
much a way everybody can understand it.
I dig it, man. I mean, look, we'll like I said, we'll dive more into your major as we're going into it. But for those at home, obviously, what her major is, it might sound very confusing and like conflicted. Trust me, once you get to where she's at, it's easier than you think it is to understand it. Even I understand it. Yes, I know we went to the same university, but like that's the difference is like there's a method to the madness. So let's kind of dive into the method. So Lily, let's talk about you. First and foremost, where are you originally from?
I'm right across the river from Harrisburg. I'm from Enola. I went to East Pennsboro High School. So for those of you who know it, yes, we are the mold school.
Well, mold school? Is that like
Yes.
a slang thing or?
No, we had a massive mold outbreak when I was
Oh.
in 7th grade, and our high school and our middle school was splitting our days 50-50 in our middle school for 2 or 3 months.
Okay, so when you first said that, I was like, all right, that's probably some really bad mascot name, but that makes way more sense in my head. So basically, you guys were splitting like days where you actually would have class with the same building?
Yeah, so the high school would be in the middle school building. They would be having their classes from 7:30 to, I wanna say 12:30, and then we were there from 1:30 to 4:30 or 5:30
Okay,
doing all of our classes.
so like how was that like, because I don't imagine that would be simple to have all those kids in that one building and trying to divide them up and all
No.
that.
It functioned pretty normally except for the fact that they were introducing blended learning, which was it was like more like a hybrid. It makes a lot more sense now that I'm in college. But
Mm.
some of my classes we did online work, some of my classes we did in-person work. Sometimes they would just have us watch videos and teach ourselves, explain it later. But I feel like those skills definitely helped me in college. It didn't make sense then, but it makes a lot more sense now.
Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, it seemed like you kind of had a head start into hybrid online learning, which a lot of us didn't really expect to be doing in the 2020 era. But, pandemic kind of showed a
COVID.
lot. Yeah, COVID really did a number on a lot of people. I mean, I think I got pretty lucky in terms of my college career because I only had to do a month of online learning versus many other people who did years and years for it. Um, so like, well, let me kind of highlight a little bit. So, like, you grew up kind of close by to the Harrisburg area since you're in
Yes.
Enola. How was life growing up for you?
Um, I did the general, little youth stuff. I danced for 12 years.
Oh, nice.
And then once I got done with dance, I started working. And then ever since then, I became a severe workaholic.
I mean,
Um, yeah,
understandable.
I'm averaging like 30 hours a week working part-time during school.
So,
Not recommended. Don't
so
recommend it.
yeah, so I was gonna say, so like, because then, like, as you got more into high school, were you able to really like have a like, a balanced life, a work-life balance, or was it like all work,
Oh,
no play?
Um, I I did sports through high school too. I was cheering all 4 years. So, it wasn't terrible balancing work and school and sports, of course. But I pretty much got a hold of it as soon as I started. I adapt very quickly to different case scenarios. Um, with cheer practice, we had practice 3, maybe 4 days a week. Then any of that other time, I would be at work, and then I got all my homework done during our, like, study hall periods during high school, so I didn't have to worry about anything then.
Okay. So you seem like you just had a pretty good you like you said you're adaptable. So you had a pretty good comprehension on figuring out this thing called life and the sounds of it. So I mean, very few people, especially in high school, don't have that ability to do what you're doing. So that's definitely something that's probably helping you out now in college. And now in high school, obviously, we go through our fun times of high school drama or stuff like that. But I don't from the sounds of it, I don't think you experienced much. You kinda had a very simple, like, high school life, would I be wrong by saying that?
So I wouldn't call it very basic. Um, I went my whole freshman year. COVID hit, like, the middle of my sophomore year, and then my junior year, I was completely virtual, and my senior year, I was in the early college program, so I technically only went to high school for, like, a year and a half.
Oh, wow, that's kinda weird now thinking about it. So, like okay, so, yeah, let me talk about that a little bit. So, like, COVID high school edition, how was that, like, experience for you? Because everyone's different with this one.
Um, I got good grades because my professors kept forgetting about me.
Wait, what?
My professors or, like, my teachers would forget to let me in the meetings for classes. Like, my physics teacher, I was only actually in class for 2 classes my last marking period.
S s wha
So so for our final, I submitted pretty much a blank paper and I got a 98 on it because he couldn't give me 100% or mess up the curve.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is like you didn't even need to finesse. They just did all the work for you.
Yes.
Like wait, and
My other
also
classes were normal. I got through those like a normal class, like, my teachers still got kept in contact with me. I submitted all of my assignments, never had any problems with online. It was pretty much like I was in person,
uh,
but physics.
like did they just not send you an invite or like was there some technical errors that you couldn't get
No,
into the class?
just forgetting about me. I was in the meeting waiting for him to start the meeting, but
Wow.
yeah, he let me in 2 times.
Okay. That's just
He sent me an email like, "Oh, yeah, well, I know you don't understand anything. You can try to come in and learn, but I feel really bad for just forgetting about you."
so how long did he forget about you though? Like was it like a whole semester length? Like what like
It was a marking period, which is like a half semester,
oh
and it was our
wow.
final one. So, like, for our final, it was only the information that we learned during that marking period, but I didn't know any of it.
Dude, I've never met a teacher. They must have had a crap ton of students because there's no shot you can just forget like that bad.
I was the only person online.
So
So, I kinda see why he forgot about me, but, like, I don't know how he took attendance and still forgot about me.
that's what I'm saying. Like there's gotta be see these checks and balances is crazy, man. That is that like
COVID
I
fog.
it really is a COVID fog. Like, dude, I've never heard of something like that. Like, I've heard some stories from teachers and students about, like, yeah, I passed this class because of a big curve, or like, only had 5 kids. But I've never heard like, oh, yeah, they legit forgot about me, which, you know, gotta tip it. Shout out to that teacher, man. You're a real one for an A.
Asking me.
Yeah, but like, that's hilarious. Another thing you were mentioning on the topic of high school is you did something a very unique thing that at Harrisburg University we also offer. Um, if you're for anyone watching Nature Enrichment, we're all about dual enrollment in college and high school, and you did something similar to that. So you mind kind of breaking that down for me?
Yeah, so throughout pretty much all of my schooling, I've always talked to my school counselors, and I said I either want to have my first year of college done when I graduate, or I want to do dual enrollment, get as many credits as I can. I'm always achieved to be one step ahead. So I want to say I was in 8th grade. I met with a high school counselor, and I was like, "When's the earliest I can start dual enrollment?" And they were like, "Well, how about we talk whenever you're actually ready to do dual enrollment?" I was like, "Okay, but I need like what year do I need to come talk to you about this?" And they're like, "We'll get there when we get there." Just very push office, didn't very help me very much. So then I met with them again my junior year, and they said, "Oh yeah, you can do dual enrollment through hack." And I was like, "Okay, not really what I'm looking for. Like, I want to get my major stuff. I want to be able to do it. I want to get it all done." So I started doing my own research, and I found the early college program here. And I contacted someone at the university. I contacted Aaron Spina about it. He helped me get into contact with some other people on what exactly I needed to do to get into this early college program. So I just filled out a normal undergraduate form. There was an error with my application at the time. One page just wouldn't show up, and it was for all applicants. So he ended up just forwarding my application through for me. And not even the next day, I'm pretty sure it was a couple hours later, I got my acceptance email.
Well,
And when you get an acceptance email, you get like all this like confetti in your email, and it was awesome. But I got my acceptance letter. I was like, okay, like what are the next steps to be able to do this? It said I had to meet with my high school counselor and my principal and get them to sign a form. Obviously, my parents had to sign this too. And it's pretty much just accepting the fact that I would be going to Harrisburg University full time. My high school counselor told me that I was able to get out of my senior classes based on what I was taking at college. So my math credit, my English credit, and one more credit was covered by classes I was taking at HU. The only thing I still had to take in my high school was online gym class.
mm. So like, damn. I mean, wait, it's a couple things. One, I remember when I got accepted in HO. I'm kind of old school. They just sent me something in the mail. You know what I'm saying? I'm in. Like confetti, bro. I wish I got that shit, bro. Like, I'm gonna
I
be
got
honest.
some mega confetti.
And hey, you love the confetti. We love it. So definitely shout out to you for that. And it seemed like the process for you to get all this done was pretty smooth from the sounds of it.
Yeah, it was really easy. Honestly, everyone at the university helped me so much more than my high school did, and they even contacted my high school when I was having problems with them.
Oh, so well, shout out to those, because since you were doing the early college and high school program, I probably ran into people, some of our members of the Richmond department. So, definitely shout out to them, and then also shout out to Eric Subpoena for those who want to know who he is. Aaron basically is the director of admissions. So when you get accepted in HU or you think about HU, he's one of the names you'll see on the website or any other form you see. Um, and also, if you just want to schedule visits, he's also another name you'll see often. Um, but definitely awesome to see that the process was easy for you. You got in, did your thing. So, like, technically speaking, since you started college a little earlier, because you did the early college and high school program, are you considered a sophomore or like a freshman or like somewhere in the middle?
So credit-wise, I am a sophomore. I started with all of the other first year students in August of 2021, and I will be graduating in, I believe it's April. HU graduates in April, right?
Yeah, they finished in April and they walk in May.
Okay. I It's a very close time frame. I think they're in like 2 weeks of each other.
Yep.
So that's what usually confuses me. But I will be officially graduated in May of 2024.
Wow. See, you speed running through college. Not many
Oh,
people can
sorry.
do that.
May of 2025.
Oh, okay. I was about to say like, yo, that you because I was say that's speed running on a super level, but like, hey, if you got 2024, I mean, like I would not be surprised. The way you talk about your field and also how you went about this process, because not a lot of people. Obviously, you go through your high school counselors and stuff like that to get this stuff done. No, you took it into your own hands because you were very serious about this. Um,
Yes. When I want it done, I make sure it gets done.
Hey, that's a good mentality to have too. Especially considering the fact that, like I said again, you found this, not your counselors.
No.
Uh,
My counselors didn't even know that this was a thing.
oh, even better that you discovered freaking basically a needle in a haystack, and you've pounced on it, and now you're relishing the opportunity here at HU. So, I mean, shout out to yourself on that one. I mean, I always say shout out to those people, but like, no, shout out to yourself. It's all you.
Thank you.
No problem, no problem. So because then usually how I would ask next is about the college process for you. Um, but in terms of like, were you thinking of, well, yeah, let's still is technically true. Were you ever thinking about other colleges to apply to before HU, or was it because like you're already doing their program, you were already going there from the jump?
So I was considering a few other colleges during my first semester here at HU because I'm a commuter for Harrisburg
Mm.
University, and I was really worried about missing out on like that college experience that everybody talks about, like finding like your forever friend of your roommate and freshman 15 and going to the gym in between your classes because you have nothing else to do.
Mm.
But honestly, Harrisburg's really helped me not miss out on any of that experience. If anything, it fits better for me. It's not like no parties are here. It's not like Penn State. Our classes are very close together, so I don't have to worry about like a 5-hour break in between my classes. I have just enough time to sit down, get some work done. I don't have to worry about like I don't have to go back to my dorm to eat because I don't have a dorm. But we have plenty of food on campus. It
Uh,
will drain your bank account because we have really good food just around us in general.
You know, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Because, like, while we don't offer meal plans, we do offer a lot of places around that you can definitely buy from. And I've seen this personally from experience that your bank account will be drained. Um, so,
Some places give you a student discount, like a 10% discount if you have your badge on you.
you were talking about Strawberry Square, how it can ruin your pocket.
Mhm.
How so?
Um, as a commuter, it's kind of hard to like I don't feel like walking down to my car to drive home quick, to turn around and walk right back to campus for another class. So I usually just pick something up to eat. Um, Tropical smoothie, Taco Bell's up there. They're putting in a new one. It's like a burger and chicken joint.
Yeah, Fresh Good Burger, I think it's called.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Same.
Um, Hot Dog Factory and their milkshakes might
Mm,
get a little debated here.
how so?
I think their milkshakes might be better than Farm Show milkshakes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. You just said that the hot dog factory, which is located right across the street from the school, has better milkshakes than the, the
Farm Show.
really.
Yeah. As much as I hate to say that there's like a milkshake better than Farm Show milkshakes, I gotta stand by my word. It's so good.
Dude. Okay, you know what? I haven't had the milkshakes from the hot dog factory, so I gotta test that out because like
Get the
those are
strawberry one.
strawberry. Okay, I'm gonna get the strawberry one. I'm gonna test out this theory because if you're saying this is facts, then I mean, look, man, I gotta test it out too because look, I like the farm shows, but I never had the hot dog yet. I mean, I haven't been to the hot dog factory, which is kind of funny saying that, but like, I know a lot of students have. Um, some like it, some don't. It's very mixed.
I wouldn't put
But
you on anything bad, I promise.
okay. Strawberry milkshake. I'll try it out. You heard it here first on the HM Beyond podcast. But you are definitely telling the truth about just the money factor that plays into when you go come to this university. But then also I think in general, most universities, regardless of having a meal plan or not, you're gonna end up spending some money to buy other stuff that you don't want to buy with your meal plan if you do have the option, because not all college food that they provide to you is the greatest. Um,
Yeah, and even with not having a meal plan, it still is pretty equivalent because the people that have the meal plans, like, yeah, it might seem like they're eating for free, but that ridiculous tuition price that they're paying, like $60,000 a semester,
yeah, it's
it
pretty.
it includes everything on there. And then, I mean, we're getting off with some pretty good deals with tuition and stuff.
Yeah, but
So,
we've been tuition frozen for I think almost like over a decade. So that really does help people. Most students don't really understand like loans and all that yet. Like especially your freshman year, you're still kind of like comprehending how that entitles your next 4 years. But as you
mhm.
get further into it, you kind of can see the benefit, especially depending on the package you got. Because some might not even realize they got a gem out of a package, but every situation it's a case by case thing. So I won't say everyone's benefiting, but a good majority of them are.
But not sure if you know this or not. I am a
Mm.
student ambassador.
Yes,
So
you are.
I do know a couple of things about tuition and HU stuff, but every student that gets accepted at Harrisburg University gets some form of a scholarship. 100% of students.
Okay. So you're just guaranteed
Yeah.
scholarship. So like that kind of allows me to transition into it a bit. So because like you're a student ambassador, so kind of tell me what that entitles for you here at HU.
I pretty much do student tours. I like to answer any questions that I can that prospective students may have about the university. So, one of my first tours that I did was actually a middle school group and just a bunch of information about what an average day is like for me on campus, how these different laboratories are different from one another, how our biotech is different from our forensics, how forensics is different from chemistry, and then just the I don't want to say just the positives of the school because every school has a positive and a negative.
Mm,
And honestly, I've been here for a year and a half, and even the students have been here for 4 years. The only negative thing that I've genuinely heard about Harrisburg University is that we don't have a bunch of study space.
yeah.
Um, but to be fair, we're not really that big of a school as well. We have a 12 to 1 student to faculty ratio. All the faculty can know you by name. Any professor that you have is going to call you by name instead of by like a student chair number or anything like that. They'll know what days and what times that they have you. And some professors forget your name. I mean, we're human, we're not all like robots and just memorizing everything at one time.
True.
But they have office hours to go in and to meet with them. And that's one big thing that I really like about HU is the fact that I can have one-to-one student to faculty if I have any questions that I didn't want to ask during class, or if I miss a day of school, they usually can block out at least 30 minutes to meet with you in a day, and they help you as much as they can because they want to see you pass they don't just care about what they said during lecture that day and don't put it on you to completely make it up yourself. They're here to help you with any questions that you have.
And I think that's one thing that a lot of people kind of take for granted when they're here. But yes, you can really focus on a lot of the cons of HU, and I mean, I'm one to talk. I think since we're such a small university, and also we were established in 2003. I mean, not 2003, 2001, excuse me. Um, Now that might not sound like a long time for some people. For a college, that still signifies you're still kind of new, because most colleges have been going like before like 1900s. Like Penn State's been relevant for a very long time. Um, and we always like to use Penn State as an example here at HU because like they have a Harrisburg campus. Sometimes
Easy
we intertwine with
comparison.
them. I mean, hack, we get confused by a lot. A lot of people think we're hack, which I to this day still don't understand that. I mean, the names are definitely different. The locations are definitely different, but hey, it's okay. We're gonna get confused by them. But we're a small school. You have a more chance of your professor to know who you are than in most places, unless you really put yourself out there. Other than that, I mean, you kind of hit the head on the noggin on a lot of other stuff in terms of HU. So, I mean, it's very important. If it's very important to you to have that one-on-one interaction with your professor, then we're the spot. Um, and even I can speak from my experiences as well. Um, so. Now for you, Lily, you're a sophomore, technically speaking, from a credit standpoint.
Mhm.
Um, how has the classes been treating you?
The classes aren't bad from my experience. Um, I think my hardest class that I've had so far is either cell bio or gen chem. Not sure how much you've heard about gen chem, but I have it with Professor Wang. Whenever I first registered for it, a lot of people said that this class is probably going to be one of the hardest classes you've ever taken at HU, that there's a decent number of people that fail this class, and that he's just a hard professor in general. But I got to the class, and he, I want to say, is probably the best professor that I've had. He's very understanding whenever it comes to something that you don't understand. He will sit down and give you the time to explain it to you. He interacts with his classes a lot, and he genuinely wants to see you succeed as a person. And he's there to help you with whatever you need. We all put in all of the hard work through the semester.
Yeah.
The
And
late nights, the coffee, all of the coffee in the world.
oh my god, you guys are becoming addicts of coffee.
Becoming isn't
Oh, it's
been
already there.
been a
Hey,
caffeine
Ben,
addict.
Ben. Okay, so let's see. What's your poison? Starbucks, Dunkin', just regular coffee brands? Like, well, what's the poison here?
Dunkin', absolutely Dunkin'. And there's one like I don't even want to say like a block away from campus. It's so close and it's right across from this very addicting bakery, Anna Rose.
Oh, you be talking nano rolls. It's funny. I literally bought something from them this morning.
See, it's just Anna Rose. Like you quite literally cannot go wrong with Anna Rose.
No, no, you can't. They're really good. It's a really good bakery. And I
Good
mean,
prices too.
yeah, like, dude, I like the crazy part is like I would think when I go in there sometime I'll buy like a crap ton of stuff because obviously I just want to stock up. I don't always like buying sweets like that. And I'm thinking about to spend $10, but like they tell me like, oh yeah, $6. I'm like, huh? Like this should be like at least 10, and then they'll tell me six, and then I'm like, oh, cause you do these little cool little sales thing. I'm like, all right. I mean, look, this is y'all business. I'm not gonna say anything. It's really nice how they do that, and I mean, obviously, shout out to them. Shout out to Anna Rose Bakery, Duncan. Yeah, you guys love that place. Like the amount of people I know who have at least got the app ready to go to order their things so they can go in and out. Like you guys. I mean, look, I know we were addicts during my time. Like I knew people who took like double espresso shots, like like to stay up all night and shit. But like you guys got it,
Mhm.
literally. Um,
Absolutely.
it's
We know all the
insane.
little tips and tricks to get your free coffee every once in a while. You gotta look
Oh,
out for the promo days
there's a
and rack
specific
up
days.
points on promo days. Yes. They used to be 100 bonus points if you like ordered ahead on Mondays. And then like double points if you get an espresso.
Wow. Wow.
So I would get a macchiato. And then on top of my 100 bonus points, I got a free coffee just for my Monday orders.
Dude. Okay. So like in a typical week, how much coffee you drinking? Like
I drink at least 1 cup a day.
um um
So it'll range between a coffee and a Red Bull, 2 trips to Dunkin', maybe a trip to Dunkin', and 2 homemade coffees. Depends on what I'm feeling that day, how I slept that night, how much homework I have to get done.
so. Okay, so this is where you know you know I'm coming into the base and say this like so like we not talking just coffee, you talking Red Bulls too. Okay, so like bro, sleeping, right? How much sleep you getting?
Between 6 and 8 hours. I
Wait,
actually
wait.
get, like, a normal amount of sleep. I'm just that severely caffeine addicted.
Yeah, I might say, man, you might end up getting caffeine withdrawals if you just take a day off. I can already
I
see it.
do. I get severe migraines.
Oh, then never mind. You already there. So okay, so the last thing I'll ask about on the topic of coffee trend, what's your go-to coffee drink? Like you just like if you just had to pick something from any place, not even just Dunkin', that's your go-to.
It's definitely Dunkin'. Dunkin' original blend iced coffee with cream and French vanilla.
Damn, bro, you're not even multi. You know, it's funny that you say this because we put a poll up on Nature Enrichment a while back asking people which coffee place do you prefer, Dunkin' versus Starbucks. And in the first round of voting, Dunkin' won 55% to 45%. Then we did it again, and Starbucks won. I think it was a much closer race from what I remember. And then the third round we did it, Duncan came back on top. The way, but we changed the wording of it is which one would you prefer more in a typical weekly format? And people picked Duncan, and we were saying why? Well, a lot of people are like their coffee just is better for you versus Starbucks, where most people only go in there roughly to get like a frappuccino or a variation of it.
Yeah, I think Starbucks is good for, like, the sweeter drinks, but if you want, like, actual coffee, go to Dunkin'.
Hey, that is respectable. And so everyone listens to this podcast, go check out Duncan, your local Duncan, you know? Get the app, get some points up. I personally don't go to Duncan like that enough to get the app, but I do go there every now and again when I need some coffee. I mean, when I travel, like Duncan's right in the freaking train station, so it's kind of convenient. Um, but like, but this also leads on to my next point. A lot of college students drink coffee or drink some type of energy beverage to keep up because there's a lot of work to do. So to kind of highlight the next portion of it, to help me understand, how do you handle stress in college? Because obviously, all the work you got to do on top of your outside responsibilities, you got to find a balance. So how do you go about finding that balance?
I lift. I go to the gym, and I just put all of my stress, all of my anxiety just into my lift that day. Or I just usually just let it bottle up until I get to chest day and shoulder day and absolutely pound it out on my shoulders.
Hey, I mean, I literally do the same thing with work. Like, dude, I'll get pissed off so much. I'll be like, all right, you know what? Let's just destroy my arms, and they'll work out eventually. Because it's good that you're finding something to relieve the stress. Um, I would also say, I don't know if you would agree with this. Hanging out with friends when you can, because sometimes your friends can help you de-stress. Not all the time, though. I will not say all the time.
I mean, I don't really have many people. I'm kind of like, I like being by myself the majority of the time.
Mm.
I didn't really have a lot of people growing up. I was very family oriented. So if I was just having a bad day, I would just call my grandma.
Aw.
Can't do that anymore. Unfortunately, she did pass away. But if it gets really bad that day, I'll pick her up some flowers. I'll go to her gravesite. I'll sit there for like 20 minutes, and I'll just tell her about how my day was going.
Oh, that's so sweet. I mean, obviously, my condolences, my friend, on that. But that is really sweet. Though what you do, because it kind of leads me to my next question of like, because obviously, education's one thing in college. The next factor is your social life. And I was kind of gonna ask you, like, how has your social life been at HU? Like, is it good, bad? Like, how has it been?
I mean, I'd say it's pretty average for me. I usually make a few more friends every class that I'm going through. As I'm going into more major specific classes, I'm finding the people that are continuously in my classes more and the ones that are going to be there with me like throughout like the rest of my years. So I think it's very important to find those people as early as you can, even if they're just like in your gen ed classes.
Mm,
Um, I would say always find someone to contact with every class. So if for some reason you do miss a class, you know what you missed.
that is
They
true.
can like send you your notes. You guys can have little study groups together, help you with any like projects, look over any work that you need, stuff like that.
That is true. That is very true, and it's very helpful for some people too, to have that type of thing. Now I know you also mentioned your student ambassador. Are you doing anything else related to like student life, or that's just kind of one of your main roles right now?
It's just like one of my main roles right now. That's I'm slowly getting more involved with the university. Typically my work lines up with all of the events that HU does. So I haven't been able to go to like Friendsgiving or like any of like the movie nights that they do.
Mm,
But still just like knowing about the fact that those resources are there if I ever do manage to get off on one of those nights, I have somewhere to go and just to hang out with a bunch of people.
that is also that's true. I mean, at least you know you have options available. Also, she has another option available for those who are curious about because we do get this question asked a lot on Nature Enrichment. Merchandise. We know. We definitely know the need for a lot of things with merchandise. That's why here at Harrisburg University, you got HU merch. It's a student run merch table that students work on and sell merchandise to students and faculty here at Harrisburg University and maybe even visitors when we have those too. So Lily is one of the, I think, what, 20 that I asked to work these tables whenever they can. So that's just another thing that people are able to do. Obviously, this isn't something that's like, oh, we just pick a random person. We don't. We actually get to know students. Me personally get to know them because obviously it's kind of a big responsibility and there's a lot to comprehend. But we try to make the transition into the merge table as seamless as possible. So she's one of the 20 because, well, she does good business, and we trust her
Retail
insight.
skills.
That too. It's not like required, but she has retail experience, so she can deal with stressful situations, or deal with just managing merchandise because she does it for a daily anyway. Because because apparently you do. I think yeah, you do still work at Dick's, right?
Yep, I'm still there.
Okay. So I mean, so talk to me about like you're working at Dick's. You're also doing A2 work. How's that like been for you? Like, it's been good, bad? No, so
It's
so.
been it's been good. Nothing's overlapped yet. I haven't had any problems with any of my HU work overlapping with my part-time job. So I'd say I got off pretty good. Usually all the times that they need me to work is typically in the middle of a school day. So I don't have to worry about missing a shift at my other job. And even if I do have something at my other job, like how I usually work on Saturdays, I can either request off ahead of time to go to these student ambassador events, or they just say, hey, it's all right. We have a couple other students, typically students that live on campus that don't
Hmm.
work these Saturday events. So the more student ambassadors we get, like the better it is for the university too. help with
Yeah,
these like other events.
makes sense. Makes sense. 'Cause I mean, I think that's how I met you. 'Cause I think you were helping an event out that I don't remember if no. I think we were helping out at missions, and then I got asked by my boss to come in and talk
That
and
was that
do.
middle school event that I was talking about earlier.
Yep, yep, yep. And like my name is a very fun commodity here at A2. I won't explain why that is to those at home. You just come visit, you'll see why. Um,
He will be
but
mentioned during a tour.
yes, I will definitely be mentioned during your tour. In what capacity, I will not reveal. You just come visit if you're interested in coming to Harrisburg University. Um, because it reminds me of a funny story that really happened to us when we're doing a merch table on Friday before you came by. I think we had they're doing a tour from kids from York, and 1 minute I'm doing my merch table thing, setting up. Next thing I'm getting swarmed by like 15 kids.
Oh,
Um, yeah, because I didn't realize Drew sent them to me. 'Cause I didn't know if he wanted me to talk to him or not. I just said hello, but then once I heard Drew say my name to them, I'm like, oh, he wanted me to talk to him. So then I'm like, my freshman by the name of Jordan, who's one of our merch table. I'm like, hey, Jordan, you're in charge for a moment. I stepped to the side. So I was just talking to him for like 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes or so. And they were just having a ball. But so why they're doing that, I won't reveal that. You just have to come do a tour and you'll figure that out. Trust me, you will. Um, but to kind of get back to you with Lily, the last section I'll kind of talk to you about is okay, so with your major, what do you see yourself doing career-wise, if you know yet?
so I would like to be a geneticist. So pretty much, I'm gonna go into your DNA. I'm gonna figure out what's happening, like what's going wrong with anything that might be going wrong. So like pregnant women, I can go in see if their baby is at any risk for any genetic disorders, whether coming from mom, coming from dad, um, or if there's a child that's severely sick and they can't figure out like any physical causes for any of their symptoms going on, they can send me their sample. I'll do some testing and I can figure out what's going on. Like, why are they getting sick and see if there's anything I can do to help make this child feel better. Even if there's not a cure, we can probably work with their individual symptoms to help with those.
Dude, that sounds pretty sick, man. I like that. Like you're basically figuring out the disease before it even happens just by looking at my DNA. Or like
Hmm.
figuring out like, what if this could be a future recurring thing. Um so then my next question would be what made you like so interested in this field? Was it something from childhood or like something you slowly got into as you got into college?
So initially, I wanted to build wheelchairs and prosthetics for wounded warriors.
Mm,
Again, very family oriented. My dad's been in the army for 25 years, and I've just always had this attachment to helping people. I get that from my dad, like the selflessness that he has. I just wanted to continue that and finding a way that I can help as many people as I can while still doing something I love. I love working with genetics. I love the little tables that we can do to figure out what percentages of what, like the 25% possibility of being a yellow pod or a green pod
mm.
or different things like that. That's just always been a passion of mine. I love puzzles and it's just like a big puzzle for me.
Okay. I mean, first and foremost, I also come from a family. My grandfather served Royal Navy, so anyone who served, I got massive respect for thank your dad for his service to this country, um, and also just hear how fascinated and excited you are about your field and what made you get to this point. I mean, low key, you could have went advanced manufacturing because of prosthetics, but the DNA, the medical, that really drove you to that field, which is just as cool. And I think that's what a lot of people miss. Like when you have that passion, that enjoyment of the thing you're in, that's when you know you're in the right place. And it sounds like you definitely are. So I look forward to seeing what you do. You know, who knows? You might find the next cure to freaking one of the biggest diseases known to mankind. Um, and I don't say that just to talk out of my behind. I say that I truly believe in that. So, you know, more life to you, fam, on that one. I guess my last question I'll ask you is, what is, you know, in typical cringy fashion, as I would say, what is some advice? You know, if you had to think of one big advice, what would you give someone who's listening to the podcast about just like doing what you're doing?
Honestly, live your life the best that you can. And as cliche as that sounds, the more you do, the more you're going to find something that you genuinely love. Keep your mind open to anything and everything. I know whenever I first started out my genetics unit in my 7th grade biology class, I was absolutely petrified. I didn't know what was going on. And then here I am pursuing a career in it. So, definitely with everything, as weird as some things may sound, do some research into it, see if it's something you'd be interested in. Always, as much as salaries are a major component to different careers, don't let it be your downfall. Don't completely ignore it, because as much as that big 6-figure salary looks appealing, if you're miserable and doing a job that you're miserable in, you're going to hate your life. So take the time, find the one thing you truly love doing, so you don't hate what you're going to be doing for the next 40 years of your life.
Hey man, that's what you love to hear right there. That, my friends, is the sign of many things to come, and this is why, like I said, I can see Lily doing big things. So Lily, before we go head out, I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions. It's kind of new, a little segment we do.
All
So you
right.
know, so here, so it's okay if some of these questions are gonna be like, wait, what? But trust me, just roll with it. So first question is. Are you eating this or no? Pineapples on pizza.
No, absolutely not.
Wait, but why though?
That just, I mean, pineapple's iffy as it is. On pizza, those are two very clashing palates.
Yeah, okay, she says a nod to the pineapples. Next one up is your favorite holiday is between Christmas or Halloween. Which one are you picking?
Oh, I'm a Halloween person, 112%.
Okay, we have lost a Christmas person, ladies and gentlemen. She's all Halloween. Um, favorite season, it's which is fall, summers, winter, or spring.
I'm a fall girl.
Okay, she's fall. That is crazy. It's okay though. We're winning here in winter. Last question is if you had to pick between getting $1 million or having a $5,000 dinner with a celebrity of your choosing, which would you pick?
$1 million.
Okay, just making sure. I'm about to say you picked the dinner. You tripping? Okay. You're probably. I'm about to say there's someone has picked the dinner. I will not diss them any more than I have already, but it's okay. Um, but yeah, so that is our little rapid fire question section over. So thank you for answering. As for why we
Course.
do this is because we're really curious on what people say because we want
You got
someone.
some very debated questions in there.
I mean, look, someone legit said they like pineapples on pizza on this podcast, and I can't really justify that. You know, but
I wouldn't justify it. Absolutely not.
it wouldn't either, but unfortunately, you know, they gotta explain why, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm not gonna argue on the podcast for it, so I'll say that for another time. But first and foremost, I'd just like to say thank you, Lily, for coming on the podcast. We truly appreciate you coming on, and just listening to you, hearing your story, hearing where you've gone so far, and we're looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. So thank you, for coming on.
I appreciate you for having me. I was a little nervous at first, I'm not gonna lie, but you made this very fun, and I would definitely do this again.
Hey, I told you it would be a fun experience, dude. Is when it comes to being on the podcast, we try to make it a fun time, just a little casual conversation between me and you. So thank you for coming on, and for those listening or watching on YouTube, we thank you for watching and listening. This has been the Atrium Beyond podcast. This is Steven signing out with Lily. We'll see you guys next time. Take care, brush your hair, and until next time, thank you.